broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
You can't always get what you want.
Oh, you can't.
You definitely can't.
You can't
It's life. They call that
always
life.
get what you want.
What do you get? Yes, sir.
I like that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thematic. I like that.
And what the New England Patriots need more than ever is a bye week.
Oh.
And they do have that
Yes.
locked up. We were saying a couple weeks ago, guys, welcome back to another edition of our Patriots Wrap 360 alongside Jason Chiarella and Kevin Finn. I'm Mike Conley. Welcome back, gang. So, are you worried? Losers of 4 out of 6. We were talking about a few weeks ago, the 3 things we really wanted was a bye, home field, and the Patriots to have a chip on their shoulder and have people doubting them going on to the playoffs. Now, we kind of came to the agreement that there's no way we can get all 3. We'll probably get 2 out of 3. And I'm happy with the 2 out of 3 we got, because there's a very real possibility that Denver gets upended and we end up having home field if we can advance in the AFC Championship game anyways. So we'll shove that for a minute. Let's just kind of feel your anxiety level for the New England Patriots, who started out 10-0 and then dropped 4 out of their last 6.
Well, I mean, it's been quite some years that they've since Thanksgiving, like 2-4, 4 of the last 6. I mean, that's very unlike Patriot football. I mean, they're usually like, what does Belichick say? The season starts after Thanksgiving.
Brady says that an awful lot too.
So I guess the season doesn't start after Thanksgiving. Maybe it starts now? Next week, maybe?
I'm certainly hoping so. Yeah, I mean, if you listen to any of the Pats today, it was pretty clear what the speaking points are. We don't know. It doesn't matter who we play. Or it's about working on ourselves this week. Looking at where your deficiencies are and making yourself better at those. It was great. I mean, I just love that they have. It's pretty clear that they're coached up on that, and every one of them to a man, It's just fantastic.
They adapt quickly, too. The players that come in adapt quickly to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta. It's,
I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of walking into work past fallen bodies. You got to toe the line. So, I mean, dropping this last game of the season 20-10 to the Miami Dolphins, who aren't exactly world beaters. Did it throw up any red flags for you guys? I mean, Tom Brady, 12 for 21 for a season-low 134 yards and 0 TDs. First game all year he went without 0 TDs. Without a TD, excuse me.
Well, I mean, to me, I just look at, I think the Patriots are playing cautiously into the end of the season. I know that, obviously they would like to have won and wrapped up home field, but in the list of priority and importance, I don't think that was very high on Belichick's list. I mean, Brady threw, what'd you say, 24 times?
21.
21 times, and
5 times in the first half.
Right. And look, let's be honest. Look at the targets that Amendola had 2 catches.
It was definitely a curious game plan. They came out and ran for the first time, for the third time in the last 10 years, more than they had passed, which I don't think they, I wasn't expecting that. And I thought that, it was a little bit interesting. I liked it in a way because if you listen to Belichick through the week, he, a lot of people had taken pot shots at him, but he said a running game was a way to kind of protect Brady in a way. And, on paper, I think if you run it 20 times in the first half down their throat, and then Brady comes out in the second half and throws it 20 times, that sounds like a good way to beat the Dolphins. Unfortunately, it just didn't play out that way.
It wasn't surprising that they would come out running the ball because Miami hadn't stopped anybody
Exactly.
on the ground.
It seemed like, and like I said, in theory, it's a great game plan. Come out, run it down their throat. They open up for the pass, then come out in the second half and, throw all over the place. But they just couldn't establish really anything in the passing game in the second half. I mean, that was...
Well, I mean, one big question mark going into the playoffs, I would say, is the O-line.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of this has been made of this, but personally, I cannot understate the Edelman injury. I mean, for me, that's the before and after for this team this season.
Definitely.
It's the Giants game, right? And if you look at the stats offensively for this team before and after that game, it's incredible. I mean, I think on third down, I think the Pats were at like 50%. They're 9-0 at that point. After Edelman's injury, they go down to 30% on third down. I mean, that's a 20% difference, and I think the snap counts were like within 10 to 15 snap counts. So it's like, he missed like 55% of the season. He's played 45%. So it's almost a nice midway point of the season, and nothing hit. I mean, we've had injuries kind of consistently banging this team since opening day, but for me, that's kind of the marker of when things kind of have taken this turn for the worse here.
Well, I mean, I think you've said it before. The offense is predicated on Brady getting the ball out quickly.
Yep.
And, and Edelman's out of that lineup, well, then, there goes that. And right now, the offensive line, I don't feel like holds up for long enough for people to get open. And
even if he is getting rid of it quickly now, is he getting rid of it just to throw it away? To save his life, basically, at this point, and save his knees. I mean, it's been tough without Edelman, and
it has. But I also think that there was in the last two games, Jets and Miami, I do think they peeled back a little bit. I don't think they really pushed Amendola because they know his value. I mean, look, do you prefer to have the second game guaranteed to be at home? Or would you like to preserve some of your plays that you're going to need? I would rather preserve some of our plays and take the chances.
AKA Chandler Jones.
Yeah, and other they started Hightower and Freeney. But
read that Justin Coleman was back today. That for me, undercover. Leonard Johnson was great that first week. It was exciting, but he's come down to earth. And I think that position is really where the Dolphins were actually able to kind of make a little hay there on Sunday.
Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
I hear what you guys are saying, and just a couple some numbers for you to kind of illustrate the whole Edelman effect. Obviously, you were saying Kev 9-0 before Edelman, 3-4 afterwards. Obviously, and Tom Brady. With Edelman, 23 touchdown passes, 2 picks. Without Edelman, 13 touchdown passes with 5 picks. So,
and I read offense averaging 6.9 yards an attempt before, down to 4.7 afterwards. I mean, the numbers are staggering when you start looking at what Edelman does for this offense.
It almost reminds me of back in like 2010 when was that the year that they did Football Life, Bill Belichick Football Life? Was that I want to say, but remember he was in his office kind of saying, hey, if Moss and Welker go down, we are in a bad way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing with Edelman here, and Amendola,
I thought one of the interesting tidbits that came out of listening to Bill this week, I love listening to him during a loss. It's uncomfortable, but you can, in his response, you can always kind of glean things. And one of the things they were determined to find out, I think, was what Steven Jackson at his best could potentially provide this team. And I heard him a couple times say this week, hey, he's a 3-down back.
Right.
We didn't even have that. We didn't have a 3-down back.
Right.
And now we do. And now they know that based off that game and based off essentially the first half.
And he talked a lot about him, actually.
He did.
And so that's only good things. I mean, it sounds like Steven Jackson knows exactly why he's here right now, and he's got his head in the book, and he's not looking just like hand me the ball and I'll run. Like, he's really trying to pick up this system, and he knows that he needs to be truly effective for the Patriots to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Bill also said something about he's almost like a rookie out there, the way
Yeah.
he's just trying to, eat everything up and learn everything. Hey, gang, let us know how we're doing out there on YouTube. Hit us up in the comments section. Say, hey, we want to hear more from the guy in the middle, or, the fat white Mike Conley talks too much. Let us know what's up. And, or hit us up on iTunes. Give us some ratings on there, and just let us know what's up, or how you want the show to go coming up here in the future. We're also thinking about changing the name of the show, if you have any suggestions on that, because it's Pat's Wrap 360. It's kind of like we don't really wrap up the game. Plus, it's like 360. It's almost like we should be coming at it from every angle, and we're just coming at it from
one angle.
One angle of a lifelong knucklehead Pats fan, and I love it. It's awesome. But let us know if that's not your speed. We'll
consider it.
We'll get you. We'll get you over to Eagles Wrap 360.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Another thing on that offensive line, and kind of an alarming thing, and I don't put too much stock on the sacks thing, but they did allow 2 sacks this past week. He was knocked down 8 more times. That's 38 sacks this year, up from 21 he went down last year. So the O-line is definitely the biggest thing I am worried about, obviously.
Can I be a whiny Pats fan here for a second?
Please.
I mean, did anyone else? I felt like they were afraid to criticize Sue. And I mean, I thought like that was obviously it was a legal hit that didn't get flagged. But I mean, it's week 17. You're playing for nothing, and that team came out in. I mean, granted, like you try and hit the quarterback and you try and hit him hard, but I felt there was a little bit of professional disrespect from that team towards Tom Brady in that game.
They wanted a piece of him. Even on that deep pass, he got hit from behind.
Yeah, and it was almost like I would, maybe they were trying to hurt him on the last week. They didn't, intentionally commit to the game but the intentions it just seemed ugly. The plays were not.
On someone like Sue, I feel like he wants to be the guy that hurt Tom Brady.
Yeah.
If he's not going to be in the playoffs, I could see him being bitter enough in the back of recesses of his mind to do that. He'll never admit it, and if you talk to him, he'll never say that. Yeah. But just watching him play and watching the way he thinks, that was just, to me, that was a dirty play. You didn't need to roll on him. And I know you can't say anything about it because it was clean, this and that, but it just, there was no place for the way the Miami Dolphins, and I honestly feel like if it was the Pats and they weren't going anywhere, and you had the Dolphins in the playoffs, and all of a sudden I saw the Pats taking all these dirty shots at the starting quarterback, it was shoddy to me a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. He's a shoddy guy. Yeah. He figures he's not going to the playoffs, but he can have an impact on the playoffs if he takes out the best quarterback in the game.
He'll keep his name live in the pregame talks.
He is a me guy. He is a me guy. That's why he's never wear the blue, red, and silver.
Never.
It's too much of a me guy. Interesting, and this is kind of a side note, but one of Sue's former teammates today announcing that maybe he's speculating about retirement. Megatron, have you heard about this?
I don't think he's
31 years old.
30.
Let's first off, I don't understand the announcement of I'm thinking about retiring. Well, guess what? If you play for the Detroit Lions and you've played for that long, and you've taken the beating that you've taken, and you're not thinking about retiring after the season, there might be something wrong with you, dude. So why don't you just hold on to that information? Wait till we're in, training camp and.
Enforce a trade to the Patriots.
Or I feel like this is an intent. It felt like it had intent behind it.
Yeah, well, he's
saying,
what I mean,
trying to force somebody's hand.
I'm thinking about sending me to a team where I can maybe win a Super Bowl before I do retire. That's what he was saying.
Right.
And if you don't, I might retire.
Yeah,
right. That's on the table.
That's exactly
that's
what
on
he's
the table.
saying. Belichick heard it. He got it. We'll get that thing wrapped up.
We got something worried about.
Just give me a couple months. You know what I mean? We'll start talking.
Give me a few weeks. We wrap this whole thing up, and
we're on to Houston/KC/Cincy. Yeah. So it was great to see. Obviously, the number one thing is number 12 being healthy, and that gives us a chance every week, as we say often on the show. So to see him today jog out onto the practice field for the walkthrough was very nice.
Light jog. Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah,
I
wasn't worried about that.
Uggs? Did he have like the half Uggs on in that jog, or was it just like 4x3 pixelated video? Because I was.
The guy looks good in standard def. high def,
yeah.
Uggs,
Yeah.
you know, moon boots, whatever he's got on.
Well, I've heard they go through the walkthroughs in Uggs, and I saw that running. It looked like he had the Uggs that have like no back to them. I was like, that doesn't feel comfortable on your
I
ankle.
love those.
Yeah, I know you do. They're the shoes that you always wear. He ran through the walkthrough in those, so that's got to be a good sign for his
he wasn't
ankle.
swelled up and therefore had no back on
Not
the
a lot
ankle.
of support.
No, no.
Yeah, I wasn't worried. I mean, he's good. I mean, look, if that injury was anything even close to being something serious, he would have never gotten back on the field. Not a chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the ankle sprains is kind of one of those things that you can, in the heat of the moment, grit through for a little while, and then when you take the tape off, it's swelling, that thing blows up. It's a different story 2 days later. I mean, he was limping out of that press conference after the game. He looked like he was in some visible pain, and it's something, who knows? Is it, is this an injury that he's always had? I mean, I've broken both my ankles, and once you break your ankles as many times as I have, they start re-spraining quite a bit. And then, if it's one of those things where it's re-spraining all the time, it could be.
Hasn't played basketball with me since. Sorry about that, Kev.
I know. It was more Cavalieri than you, but it was the both of you.
Oh boy. So who do you want? Houston, Case. We put the Miami game to bed, right?
Yeah.
One thing I did want to say about Steven Jackson is, although he looked good in flashes, he still only had like 25 yards on 12 carries.
No doubt.
So that's another kind of show. Not only am I worried about this offensive line being able to protect Brady, but I'm also thinking we have a very suspect run game.
Well, yeah, but that same line that's going to pass protect is going to run block.
Right.
So hopefully the run block is going to get back. I mean, we're getting Sebastian Vollmer back. We're going to be hopefully a different team in 2 weeks, right? That's the idea.
well, yeah. I mean, I think that is the idea. Now, mind you, that offense, when we get Edelman back, that has been playing. They haven't been playing. They haven't played a game together in a long time, and we got a new running back behind this whole thing. So I mean,
there's a lot of balls in the air.
Yeah, a lot of balls in the air, but that's why we watch the games.
Yeah.
We don't play them. That's why we watch them.
Definitely watching.
And by the way, what the 01, 04, and 14 Super Bowl Patriots have in common?
They all lost to Miami?
That's correct.
Thank you.
So everything's in
Ooh,
place.
Nice. And, let's not lose sight of the fact that, when you look around the AFC, okay, and the teams in the playoffs, and you look at the quarterback position, okay? Now, I'm just playing a little bit of conspiracy theorist here. We're avoiding the second best quarterback in the playoffs in Roethlisberger. If we have to face him, we won't face him until the AFC Championship game, and we'll be able to host it. So that's nice. And did Bill kind of let up on the gas pedal a little bit in this Miami game because of that? I'm just saying, he's been. I mean, first it was the loss to the Jets,
I know,
which made him want Pittsburgh out there.
That conspiracy theory was out there. It was definitely out there, but I don't think Belichick's thinking that way. But I do think he was holding back on the gas for health purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's strictly it. I think it fell into place that I think going into having your first game be between either Houston or Kansas City, I think I'd take that right now. If you told me what I could pick who I wanted to play, I think that would be my first game back with, Edelman and everybody. Give it to me against Houston or Kansas City.
Or Cincy we could play too.
Well, Cincy's D is pretty
stoked.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying those are the three potentials we could play.
Yeah.
Because if Cincy beats Pittsburgh,
Oh, sure.
we would play them, and but I think we all think that Pittsburgh's going to beat Cincy with AJ McCarron. No, you don't think so?
I do. I mean, it's a 3-point spread right now, and I think everybody's loading up right now on Pittsburgh, but I think that Cincinnati has a better chance.
Cincinnati's laying 3? Or Pittsburgh's laying 3?
Pittsburgh's laying 3 in Cincy.
Wow.
Yeah, and so
did I read right? The first weekend, every visiting team is favored.
Yeah, because the Chiefs are favored.
Seattle's favored.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and Kansas City.
Green Bay's favored.
Really?
And Kansas City's favored.
Washington's favored by 1.
Okay. Then maybe that changed because at one point I heard that they were all So that line may have
I bet it
fluctuated.
opened with Green Bay.
Might have
Yeah.
opened at Green Bay.
So do I think Pittsburgh's gonna? I mean, part of me says Pittsburgh's gonna rout Cincy, but I think that game's gonna be. I think it's gonna be closer than people might think.
Right.
I mean, I think that Cincy team and AJ McCarron's doing pretty well under helm, and if they
Everybody has jumped on Pittsburgh right now.
Yes,
and they
that's
showed
right.
a lot of problems.
they got a defense
Throughout the season.
porous defense.
And
Porous defense, but it was getting better towards the end of the year.
I mean, they have probably the best passing attack in the league,
No doubt.
right? So that's gotten them some.
And D'Angelo Williams
Still
is
in
hurt.
a walking boot. Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're one dimensional at this point. So and since he's got a good D,
Since he has a good D.
So we'll see. I mean, trust me. If you asked me 3 days ago, I was like, load up on Pittsburgh. You know, but the more I look into it,
My
But then
bet
you
right
see
now-
how sometimes they came out like they came out that Baltimore game, a game they needed or allegedly needed, and they were flat.
I know.
So you never know what Pittsburgh team's going to show up.
I
guess,
know.
but
My bet right now is that the Pats are going to play Kansas City.
Kansas
That's-
City is cruising right now. They've won
11
like their
straight?
last 11. Yeah. Ooh,
10 or
man.
11 straight.
yeah, that's a team that like
Andy Reid, I mean,
Still doing it. How Philadelphia? How bad do they want him back now?
well, I mean, he still couldn't win in the playoffs, so we'll see. And
I mean, what coaches are out there just waiting for the call?
hey,
to have
listen,
one
I
out
mean,
where else?
I think Andy Reid has done a great job in Kansas City, and Kansas City's quietly is one of the best teams in the NFL. And Alex Smith is a great game manager, and I think that's why ultimately the reason why KC will beat Houston. Hoyer will throw a pick, and Alex Smith won't turn the ball over.
What's more impressive to you, Andy Reid's coaching job this year or his performance in the punt, pass, and kick competition in 1977? I love that video, man.
I have a question for you.
Okay. I'll do my best to answer it.
Who's going to win the Seattle-Minnesota game?
I'm
In
actually.
Minnesota.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm coming around
0
on
degrees.
Minnesota.
I think that they might have a chance here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Seattle might soften up a little bit in this weather. And you put that running game.
Yeah, I like
They
that.
run the ball and they play defense.
Yeah.
They're a smash mouth team. I
Yeah.
really like them.
Zimmer's doing.
I'd love to see them beat Seattle.
Yeah, me too. I think we might see it. It's gonna be a good game. Another good game.
That's
I'm
one
excited.
of my most.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how they're doing the AFC and the on one day.
I
and
thought
then
that was odd too.
Yeah, I wish they kind of switched that up just to give.
They
it a
usually
little,
do.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
was
remember it
wondering-
ever being that way.
Yeah, that
but
was crazy why they do that. First game is KC Houston, right? Saturday.
Saturday is KC
And then
Houston,
Cincy Pitt will be the nightcap, right?
right at 8 p.m. Then Sunday you got Green Bay, Washington at 4:40, and
Eastern time.
oh no, I'm sorry, Seattle, Minnesota at 1 p.m. on Sunday,
Okay, 1
and then
p.m.
you got
Eastern.
Green Bay, Washington
let's say-
4:40. That's Eastern Standard.
Pittsburgh, Cincy. Who you take?
I'm probably going to go Pittsburgh there.
I think I have to go Pittsburgh. It's what I'm leaning.
So you're gonna
towards.
go Pittsburgh, and then Kansas City, Houston.
We'll have to face the winner of that. I'm probably Kansas City.
So you're
Kansas
gonna go with
City.
Kansas City. Okay.
Same.
I think so. I mean, they're playing so good, and I think like Houston's offense can be kind of held in check. I
Yeah.
mean, past D-Hop, they don't really score a lot of points.
Okay, so let's take it one step further, just because we're here. And
Okay.
We'll see. So then we've got. From there, we've got Pittsburgh. We've got, and Pittsburgh's going to go play
At Denver.
At Denver, and the Pats are going to play Kansas City.
Would host Kansas City.
Pittsburgh's going to beat Denver.
Yes. I think
Okay.
Cincinnati or Pittsburgh. Either one of those teams
Well,
is
no,
going to beat
wait.
Denver.
We got to
Cincinnati
say
wouldn't
we're
go.
picking our team here. Are you going? We're going to pick our AFC. I'm trying to get to the AFC Championship. Is where I'm going.
and I am
Well,
too.
I'm not going to render a prediction on any Patriots game.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, fine. You're saying.
I mean,
Well, if we have to
That's
pick
kind of what we do here. Let's talk about.
We're gonna
You guys
host.
can.
Yeah.
The Pats are
you
going to
guys
host.
can. I'm just a mush.
Pats are going to host Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, that's kind of the way I see it playing out. Obviously, it's not going to play the way both you and I think it's going to play
Wait,
out.
if Cincinnati
combined.
beats Pittsburgh, that changes things, right? Is that correct?
That we'll host Cincinnati.
Yeah, we'll host Cincinnati. They're the 3
division
seed.
round.
Right.
Pittsburgh's the 6 seed.
Right. So to me, it's like whoever wins Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, either one of those teams are going to go to Denver and beat Denver.
No.
Oh no, that switches up at that.
No, if Cincinnati beats Denver, they're the they're the second or the third highest seed, so we're going to face Cincinnati.
Right. If Cincinnati beats Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Cincinnati beats Pittsburgh. We're going to face Cincinnati.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
If Cincinnati wins, they're the lower
that's
seed.
correct,
They're 6th.
right.
They're going to go to Denver.
Right. There's a lot to talk about there.
You just misspoke again right there.
What did I say?
You said Cincinnati would go to Pittsburgh. Well, Cincinnati
Denver.
would go to Denver, but they won't.
No, I'm sorry.
Am I going to your house to watch the game, or are you going to my house to watch the game?
I don't know. What seed are you?
So tell me, as a Patriots fan that's a little alarmed, I'm just hypothetically, because I'm quite confident, because like I always say, we got Bill and Tom, we're in good.
Right.
Bill and Tom's excellent adventure.
Hit me. What do you got?
Tell me why I shouldn't be worried. Just because we're getting all these guys back? And is it foolish to think these guys are going to be back at 100%? I mean, because Edelman is going to be back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll have to chain that kid up to not allow him to play.
I can't wait till he
Seabass.
catches the first pass and sticks his face mask in the defensive back's face and just
talks,
says
squawks.
just crazy amounts of stuff.
I think Edelman back. Obviously, we already talked about how big of an impact that's going to have to the offense. I think you're going to start to see Gronk have more targets. I just don't think they haven't unleashed the beast, so to speak, in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So that beast is going to be unleashed in the next week, and I think maybe the first couple drives you're like scratching your head, maybe the first quarter, but that offense will be clicking by halftime.
Yeah.
And the defense has been playing pretty fairly well. There's been some let-ups in the secondary, but
The defense has been great.
Yeah.
And like, I guess that's what I would tell people that are alarmed. Like, try and hark back to preseason, before the season even started, and how worried we were and what we were worried about. We were worried all loss about, defensive backfield, losing our top 2 corners.
Yeah.
Those guys have been unbelievable stepping up. Malcolm, obviously, it's pretty clear what he's been doing, obviously getting the Pro Bowl nod. But Logan Ryan has been incredible. Granted, we are alarmed at the drop-off there is in that third corner situation, but those guys have been great. And the defense as a whole has been great, despite Collins missing time, Hightower missing time. We need him back, definitely.
Justin Coleman played well, though, before his concussion. He was playing pretty well.
He'll be back. So, yeah.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Matt Patricia
McDaniels
and McDaniels.
interview in Miami.
I mean, just, are they going to get a job? Would you hire them?
Well,
I think McDaniels goes.
I think
Patricia stays.
How do you not hire Josh McDaniels right now? If you're all these teams, how do you not?
I mean,
hire
there's
that
like
guy?
8 vacancies, right?
Yeah, I mean,
How is he not
How is
one?
he not?
I always thought, he was gonna stick around and wait for that the Belichick's departure, but he's not. He's gonna head off. I think he'll leave. I think if you're
He
another,
could still be the successor.
if you're another organization, yeah, you're right. If you're another organization, who do you hire? Patricia or McDaniels?
I go McDaniels
Me
first.
too.
Yeah.
I like that guy that has had the one failing experience as a head coach, has come back as a coordinator, kind of see how this is what happened with Belichick,
Right.
So I really like that.
And I think I still feel like Patricia still he doesn't look like.
We talked about this before. He'd need a haircut. He'd need to change
clean
his
it up.
outfit.
And it takes a while
He's probably
to
still like
acclimate to
a
that.
year, 2 years away,
Yeah.
but that's part of the process. You go on the interviews, you get your name buzzed out there as a hot candidate.
I do think he should be. I think he should be up for assistant coach of the year. One of them. I think he's done a fantastic job with the defense.
Patriots Coach of the Year, if we give out those awards.
Pass
To
Rep
anybody?
360 we do. We just did.
I hope going into after the week 1 of the playoffs, it's Dave DiGiulio or whatever that guy's name is, our offensive line coach, another guy with the raspy voice.
Yeah.
Man, dude, he's got his work
awesome.
cut out for him. I mean, the Patriots have had 12 offensive linemen this year take at least one snap. They have had something like 36 or 37 offensive line combinations.
I thought
Trey
you might-
Jackson started at left tackle.
He didn't play well.
past year.
He did not play well.
There's a lot of guys at that tackle spot that can look in the mirror this week when you're taking some personal inventory and seeing how you're going. Him, Fleming, and Marcus Cannon, all those guys could take
Marcus
a big long
Cannon,
look.
I think you might see Marcus Cannon go the way of this at the end of the season.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
Wow.
He's a pretty big number.
He is.
and
He
he's-
seems like a good depth guy for tackle and guard. I mean, just don't think there's room for improvement?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not on the trenches there, but he's one of those guys where it just, I don't know. When everyone talks about the offensive line really struggling, there aren't. So who are we talking about?
Yeah. I'm trying not to harpoon him so much because, I mean, offensive lines are kind of down all across the league, and the Pats do have a lot of young guys in there. You know, I mean, Jackson, Mason, and Andrews, all rookies, and played over 50% of the snaps this year on the offensive line for Pats. So
It's scary.
you have to give him a little bit of leeway.
It's scary heading into the playoffs.
It's kind of surprising to me about that is Cameron Fleming not kind of performing better, because he was kind of like that extra offensive lineman when they run that heavy set and they bring him in. So you would have thought that there would be more of a seamless transition there. It seems like he's struggled quite a bit in more of a leading role.
And is that, you think that's some of the reason why also we haven't seen a lot of Gronkowski receptions too? Because we're relying
I thought
on
that
him.
was one of the odder things. Maybe that was just a health thing, but I thought that was one of the odder developments of that game. I mean, if you're gonna, I guess he's out there. You have him run routes, and if you throw to him, then he's gonna get mashed. But not really throwing a Gronkowski there.
Well, to me, I feel like maybe they're relying on him to try to help Brady and they're keeping him back to help that old line a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, he's great blocking tight end. Yeah.
Best all-around tight end in the game. Oh, yeah. What did he have? Man, let me take a look at it.
Last
He
week.
only had 2 catches for
Yeah.
18 yards.
Yeah.
7 targets.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to improve.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, in the week before, it was the same thing, And Amendola didn't even play, but then he played in week 17. I just feel like he's just kind of like, hey, you come back out and you play, but we're not going to really.
I can't wait to see who takes the first punt in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to
know.
see that. I'm dying to see
Amendola.
it.
Keyshawn Martin.
I think it's Keyshawn Martin.
It's got to be.
I really want it to
You
be.
can't put Amendola back there.
Right?
With a bum
We
knee.
need him.
Need him as a receiver.
We can't
Dude,
have
it's the
him.
playoffs. He takes care of the ball. He did fumble once, but he takes care of the ball. He's been old reliable back there. I do like Keyshawn Martin. He's fast, and but it's Amendola. It's the playoffs. You got to
I
go with
think
what's
Keyshawn
tried
Martin
and
can be
trusted.
better than Amendola.
I do think
As a
so
punt
too.
returner,
yeah.
I do think so too.
As a punt returner, yeah.
Next year.
I think he could be better right now. I'm way on the Keyshawn Martin.
I am too. I think he's
bandwagon.
doing. I think he's doing a great job. I do like this guy a lot, and I'm
more on the Danny Amendola staying healthy bandwagon.
for what?
That's kinda
What are you trying to keep him healthy for now?
Hopefully the next
the
week.
second half of the game?
Yeah.
No,
Something
there
past
is
the first punt?
There is nothing. You have to go out and win the next game. There's no tomorrow. You got to go out and play and hope that he gets through it. Every single one of them.
I mean, I just don't think he's that much better than Keyshawn that it's worth it.
You'll be saying something different when you see Keyshawn break one open for 15 yards and the ball pops 10 yards up in the air.
Why are you saying
Why
that?
you put
though?
Bad
Why
Mojo?
are you saying that?
I have confidence in the guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Why are you saying that?
Because I only say that because how much I rely on Amendola.
But what evidence is given? I mean, he muffed one punt.
I'm just saying, Amendola's been rock solid back there. We've loved him back there. Okay, let me just flip the
Downer.
table on you and say, what's your problem with Amendola?
I don't have a problem with
Oh,
Amendola,
you don't want
but I
him.
want him to
You don't
run.
want return punts.
I want
No,
him to
I
be
don't.
with the first team offense.
I want him to be in the first
Healthy.
team offense. And I want Keyshawn Martin to be sucking wind on the sidelines after he just ran it back 35 yards in the punt. And then Amendola comes out and he's got fresh legs, and you throw a screen pass to him and he rips it off for 40 yards.
Well, guess what? I want Keyshawn Martin running routes because he can stretch the field better than anyone else on the team. So I don't want him hurt. I do think he brings an element that Amendola can't to the offense. He stretches the field.
Wow. I hope your boy JoJo LaFell's blocking his ears during this.
JoJo.
During this telecast. Do you know that JoJo, of all people, led all Patriots receivers in snaps this year? 659, despite missing the first 6 games, being on the short pup
That's
list.
a good stat.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
It
I
just
mean, he
goes
put in
to
time
show
this
you.
year. He put in time.
It goes to show you just how ravaged they have been, at
Yeah.
that position. We've kind of not really talked about that much just because the offensive line struggles and defensive backfield. We're worried about those, but wide receivers. But hey, we're getting Edelman back. That's going to be good, and I'm excited. And Brady is jogging. I'm excited.
Ninkovich back. Chung back.
All right. Give me some Patriots end of the year awards.
Just
Best offensive player.
Best offensive player.
Best offensive
let's call
player.
it outside Tom Brady, though, right?
Outside Tom
Brady.
Brady.
We're all like, let's.
Wow.
Because it would have to be. So, I'll just let you chew on it for a while. Best offensive player, best defensive player, best offensive newcomer, best defensive newcomer. We are. Matt Patricia's our coach of the year, right?
Yeah, right? Is that
him, McDaniels, or,
I think you give to
Belichick.
Patricia. That defense has been...
It's been incredible.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year, I got to go with Malcolm Butler.
Yeah.
Offensive player of the year.
Jamie Collins, I could throw in there.
To me, it means you got to show more durability. And,
Yeah.
Malcolm just played like 98,
you sound like
99.
Belichick now.
So
It's not about ability, it's about durability.
The best ability is availability, my friend.
I will say this is not a knock on Jamie Collins. Love the guy, but when you were watching the Pats in the Miami game, it felt like they were a little flat. And to be honest with you, when I was watching players that felt like they were a little flat, Jamie Collins, being the biggest guy in the field, in the middle linebacker, running around watching tackles happen, felt like he was playing a little flat. Now, I mean, whatever. I'm not going to knock him there, but
Butler, huh? Butler, Ninkovich.
Ninkovich was like probably close second, just because he's steady Eddie.
Yeah.
He's in there all the time.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
I mean,
he hasn't missed a game in like 3-4 years or something like that. Crazy.
I think he just missed his first practice.
Yeah, his
since
first practice.
like 09.
Yeah.
Some stuff.
wow.
So, he's an animal.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's going to be in Brian Hoyer's face / Alex Smith's face a lot here in a couple weeks.
I have a semi-off-topic question for you. That we were going to probably... do we want to finish the awards first? Do you want to finish the awards?
okay.
Let Jason chew on those for a while. We
Okay.
can come back to them.
I'm going to give you a question. That I'm kind of changing my perspective on this.
We aren't
a
giving
little
out
bit.
actual awards. I wanted to make that clear.
Are we not?
No, it's just us talking. Yeah, we won't be sending anything.
You better talk to Malcolm Butler about that. I think he was expecting something.
Hopefully Tom will give him his truck again.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, one little thing for you.
Yeah.
This year, there was a team that fumbled less than any other team in the NFL. Do you know what team that was?
The New England Patriots?
That would be the New England Patriots. Now,
That's my favorite
I don't
team.
know if you guys remember this
They're a great
little
team.
Deflategate situation that unfortunately came up at the beginning of the season. But
No.
a lot of the, fodder was put into the Pats' fumble statistics during that time.
Right.
So, are you to tell me now when the Pats, which I don't think they've ever led the league in fewest fumbles before, which they did this year, how does that work? And I'm going to add a second tier to this.
Okay.
Okay. We're going
It's
up
just-
a level.
Yeah. Because I don't really want to get into Deflategate. What,
No.
Neither do I.
what I wanted to talk about
Definitely.
was Peyton Manning's
Oh, here we go.
HGH story, which
Oh, wow.
I first read and I believed to be not much, and I didn't want to really give it much because the way that Tom Brady was treated, I don't really feel like, okay, Tom Brady was treated poorly, so now we have to go
I
and
agree.
treat Peyton Manning just as
100%.
bad. I always preached during that Deflategate thing. I can't believe Aaron Rodgers, like if I was an Aaron Rodgers fan, like I wouldn't be hating against Tom Brady right now.
Right.
I don't understand why Green Bay fans or whoever is so angry. So I tried to, but in the last couple days, things have started to pick up momentum on this a little bit, and it's still, they talked about Jim Nantz not even bringing it up during the broadcast of the Broncos game. It was never brought up, which, okay, I respect that, but Jim Nantz and Peyton Manning both have the same agent. Kind of interesting. The fact that it wasn't even brought up, and Tom
Somebody's
Brady
not being objective.
couldn't take a 5-minute clip on television anywhere in this country during that time without deflated footballs being brought up. And the guy had just won the Super Bowl. Now we're talking about weeks right after this accusation, and it's not even brought up. I mean, I don't want my gripe is not about we should harp more on Peyton Manning's story. It's more, I still just can't believe how much they went after Tom Brady and how far out of control that story got.
You know what the best revenge is?
Super Bowl.
That's right.
And quite honestly, because of all that, and coming into the season, I do think that that's what to me puts Tom Brady in the category for MVP.
Yeah.
And playing with the amount of injuries that he's had this year. I mean, he had a lot of pressure on him coming into the season, and he delivered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
but
I don't think he's going to get the MVP.
I don't need. I mean, look, Cam Newton's had an incredible year. He deserves it. He deserves the Tom Brady award.
Right.
I don't think there's a lot of things Roger Goodell would let happen before he's going to let Tom Brady win an MVP in 2015.
Did you catch? This was kind of a shot across the bow from Brady the other day. I can't remember if it was his. I don't think it was his post-game presser. I think it was his presser today. Did you see his presser today?
I saw, yeah.
And he said towards the end of it, someone was asking him about him kind of griping the officials, and he's like, "Don't I always do that?" Yeah. You know. And he goes, and then he said but it hasn't seemed to be working. At least not this year.
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Shot across the bow at Mr. Goodell.
That's
big time.
That's why
That's
love...
the kind of dig it.
Exactly. That's what you have to really listen to Brady and Belichick, and then if you understand, that he is given a shot, and everyone always knocks them that they're not saying stuff, but you have to listen. Yeah. Because that was a shot.
You have to listen.
I love it.
Like Welker gave his press conference with the foot. Remember with
yeah, you gotta listen.
I mean, there was no mistake.
That was a little bit.
There was no slipping that by. I didn't see his because we were on early last week. I didn't see Bill's midweek presser, but I kind of just saw when I was on Patriots.com a picture of him. Did he have on an AFTERBUZZ knit hat? I think he might have.
What did he? Yeah, I missed that.
I think maybe he's a fan of the program. It was black and yellow,
right.
like the AFTERBUZZ. Maybe he's just putting more bad mojo in Pittsburgh. I don't know. He really wants to avoid him. But so all right, we kind of all think we're going to be facing Kansas City, or you kind of think Cincinnati's going to up in Pittsburgh.
I mean, this is how television works. You're supposed to, if we had talked about this beforehand, no, we're all supposed to disagree. That's how these panels work.
Yeah. Let's table it. Did you come up with anything for Patriots awards?
I'm glad that I'm
coming up on
respected as the person to give out the awards. It seems to me I'm the answer here. Right?
I think Kevin and I have already offered up our.
You did? Who's your? I don't have
Malcolm Butler for defense.
Okay,
maybe
that's fine.
Ninkovich.
And I say Ninkovich. So,
okay.
Where are we going? Offense.
Offense.
You can't do Tom Brady.
Can't do Tom Brady.
It's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I don't know.
It's tough because I think doesn't Edelman have more receptions than touchdown receptions than any other receiver on the team right now? He's missed the last.
I do not know that. He can't have more than Gronk.
I mean, the individual you pick,
maybe receiver.
The individual you pick for offense is A, might not even be playing anymore, or B, he's probably just started playing.
So it's Brady.
Yeah. How about unsung hero? I say Chung on defense.
Yeah.
Offense, I'm going to go Keyshawn Martin.
Boom.
12th man on either side. If you can do that.
Okay, no love for little James White right now?
James White, I could see that. How about a Brandon Bolden,
No.
I mean, I just like the fact that guy's a stud special teamer, and when needed, he just performs on the offensive side, He's just a Patriot through and through.
Yeah.
This is totally off base, but another guy that I think looks like a Patriot that's not even on our team, but is a free agent after this year. Running back.
Darren Sproles?
No,
he's not a free agent.
He's not a free agent, I don't believe. But just put this one in the back of your depths.
Okay, I'll put it back where you told me Peyton was going to Miami.
New Orleans, I said. After Peyton. Oh, Sean Payton. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, he's staying put. But according to the dude on ESPN, that GM guy, Joe Banner, I think, former GM, he's saying this still might be something. This could be posturing by Mickey Loomis.
I know.
You know, so that'll be interesting.
Who do you got?
Matt Forte.
Ooh, I love that.
He seems to be like a guy that would take a discount to come with a winner after tasting it in Bears.
Dillon style?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love.
Who would you pick for Coach of the Year?
Well, I mean, I think.
Worldwide. NFL-wide.
I think you gotta go Rivera, right? Like, I mean, the guy that.
Oh, I know who Collins is going with.
Who am I going with?
You're not going with Jay Gruden?
Oh, Jay's done a nice job. I got to say probably Andy Reid for me.
Andy Reid's got to have as my coach of the year.
Yeah, I mean he's just like.
I mean, I say Rivera second, Arians.
Right.
I mean Rivera. Like, look, what was Carolina last year? Mediocre. Like, would they have 7-8 wins? Like, they lost one game this year.
Yeah.
And like, who do they have on? What kind of their number one wide receivers? Who? Ted Ginn.
Yeah. It's true. They win on defense, but although they have been scoring, they've scored 30 points like 7 out of the last 8 weeks or something like that with Cam. So, well, we don't worry about the NFC. We're worried about the AFC. You know, that's down the line that we would have to be worried about the NFC. Next week, there'll be obviously no game to recap, but we'll talk about what happened in the AFC. We'll obviously have a opponent for the New England Patriots, and we'll dissect them and see what we should be scared about.
Okay, so who's the opponent?
Who's
the opponent?
I'm thinking it's the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I'm going with Chiefs.
Yeah.
You think the Bengals, though? You think if the Bengals can upend Pittsburgh?
It's to be determined. I haven't put.
It is to be determined. They have not played the game yet.
It's to be determined what my decision is.
Are you going to wait until after the game to give us the TBD?
I was Pittsburgh yesterday. I started getting a little nervous, thinking it might be Cincinnati. But, I got to do some more investigating before I put my money where my mouth is.
I mean, I just think it's going to be A.J. McCarron in his first playoff game, and I think he's, head's going to be spinning, a little bit.
I mean, there could be an argument made that Cincinnati might be better off with A.J. McCarron
I 100% agree with that.
I mean...
Well, definitely better than Dalton with a broken thumb.
I'm saying Dalton's healthy.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think is going to
I'm not saying that. Wow. I'm saying the guy's got a little mental block going on right now. He has to. Whether he's admitting it or not. There's serious issues with performing in the prime time.
If they roll out Dalton there, that Pittsburgh -3 is going to go to a pick'em. Then I'm going to jump on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Dalton. I think it's going to be A.J. McCarron. I mean, the dude has a broken thumb on his throwing hand. Yeah. It's like when it happened, and he was thinking he'd be back.
From a shotgun the entire day.
He just caught his cast off.
Think about this. A.J. McCarron plays. They win a playoff game in Cincinnati. Guess who is not in Cincinnati next year?
Marvin Lewis.
The Red Rifle?
Yes.
It's gone?
Gone.
I don't know, dude. They just locked him up to a kind of a big deal.
Oh, they'll trade him. I mean, listen, Cincinnati hasn't won a playoff game. If A.J. McCarron goes out there and beats Pittsburgh in Cincinnati,
well, then, but
they got a new hero.
Is A.J. McCarron even going to start? So you're saying, so what you're saying is if A.J. McCarron wins this week, then Cincinnati has a quarterback controversy?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, me neither. But I don't think he's
I'd
going to
love
win.
To see it. I'd love to see it.
If
I mean, what do you want? You want a winner, right? That's all you want is a winner.
I'm a winner.
That's pretty awesome if he does win and he's already got like more playoff wins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the fans are gonna love him.
He's like giving them advice. So when you play in the playoffs and get a win.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys. We should wind it up. Tell everybody their Twitters so they can follow you on Twitter and just, ask you questions during the AFC Championship games.
At Jay Sherella, letter J, CHERELLA. Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
At Kevin F. Finn, Finn.
Guys, thank you very much for listening. This has been another edition of Patriots Wrap 360. Thank you guys very much for listening. Go Pats.
Go Pats.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.